brum bum, brum bum, brum bum.
Da 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 da. Do 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 do. Ba ba da. Do 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 do. Ba ba da. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba.
It's not a particularly good game in the traditional sense. I mean, the graphics aren't great, the gunplay's subpar, and there isn't much in the sense of flow. There's almost no balance whatsoever, the audio cues are often confusing, there are scores upon scores of glitches. Sorry, I've forgotten where I was going with this. In 1999, a small team of developers from across the globe created Counter-Strike, a modification for popular shooter Half-Life that focused on competitive, team-based multiplayer. CS quickly gained popularity, earning a massive following thanks to its tactical gameplay, exceptional game balance, and potential for modification and expansion. 2004 saw the release of Counter-Strike Source, which improved on its predecessor by adding improved graphics, an increased map roster, and ragdoll physics to dead players. But one of the developers, Minh Gooseman saw the untapped potential of this genre of tactical multiplayer shooter, and over the coming years became concerned about the Counter-Strike franchise becoming stale in the face of newer products. Lee eventually left the team for Fix Games' career, to pursue his own vision of what the fast-paced shooter genre was destined for. That vision's name was Tactical Intervention. Tactical Intervention, it did something new, it did something interesting. It wasn't afraid to take risks, it wasn't afraid to fly in the face of tradition or indeed common sense. You know, when its competitors were asking why, Tactical Intervention was asking why not. It really was something unique and something revolutionary in the world of first-person shooters.
It's certainly revolutionized blind fire. There's no two ways about it. Pressing Q and E and holding the gun over your head and only seeing a biceps. It was ahead of its time.
I'm really not sure if it's had any impact on the shooter genre, given that most development studios probably don't even know what the fuck it is.
I'm never going to have an experience like it again. It really, yes, I understand that it is a shooter, but it's so much more. It's so much more than that. It's the ambition of it. It's an experience.
Recognising that much of Counter-Strike's popularity relied on its simple mechanics and finely honed gameplay, Gooseman ingeniously decided to add a bunch of shit that no one asked for. Players' movement was greatly enhanced with the inclusion of rolling and rappel lines, drivable vehicles were added to the game, attack dogs could sniff the enemy, and a wide variety of knife was added to the player's arsenal. In addition, the game was free to download and play, instead utilising a next-generation monetization model that allowed players to purchase unlockable items such as weapons, clothing, and pink earmuffs. On October the 8th, 2013, Tactical Intervention was released to worldwide acclaim. During the game's opening week, as many as 50 players could be seen on Tactical Intervention's servers simultaneously, a number which only increased as word of the game's quality spread. Tactical Intervention was well received by game critics too, earning an incredible score of 47 on review aggregate site Metacritic. Alistair Pinsoff of Destructoid said, "With how Lee has talked up the game over the years, it's not a surprise that it's so ambitious. And with the many delays and last-minute open beta, it shouldn't be a surprise that it's a total mess." Gooseman was even able to negotiate an official endorsement from Japanese pop singer Denpun Kote, earning it massive popularity in the Far East. Tactical Intervention's release date of the 8th of October also coincided with International Tamiya Day 2013, earning it the attention and later adoration of YouTube superstar TamiyaGuy. It was Meryl who first introduced me to TI, as a matter of fact. She'd downloaded it and was testing it out for a while, then sent me the link to give it a try. And I remember thinking at the time, you know, this is a video game.
I had recently been playing Counter-Strike and I was sad. I didn't like Counter-Strike. Everybody liked Counter-Strike, but I didn't like Counter-Strike. And then I found Tactical Intervention. It was like a fucking glowing beacon in the darkness. It was exactly what I hoped for. It was stupid. It was wonderful.
It made me laugh an awful lot. I remember playing it, and I was like, what the fuck is any of this? Because, like, I played Counter-Strike before, and I was like, it's alright. And then it was described to me as similar to Counter-Strike, and it was so much more. It definitely became a part of what I did on a day-to-day basis. It became the best game I've ever played.
I was taken somewhere very special. It's not a place between good or bad, not even in between. It's a special beast. And it had become my special beast from the very beginning.
When I first played it, it was very confusing. You had to get used to it, and the best place I could describe it is Counter-Strike on drugs. It's like crack cocaine, except it's not actually killing you. It was an experience, to say the least.
I loved it. It was fun. I was like, what the fuck was this game? And then I walked around the corner, and someone blew me up in pieces with a shotgun. I was like, what the fuck? And that was when I realized it was fucking great. And then Spider-Man.
So would you say that Tactical Interventions brought colour into your life?
Yes, it did. It did, because occasionally we would play with people from different countries, like Brazil, and they're brown. And that is not white, which is a colour. I think. White a colour? Or is it a lack of colour? I don't know. Tactical Intervention makes me think about things like that. It makes me think about people of colour.
Tactical Intervention impacted me in quite a way. It's changed how I play games. I used to be hanging back quite a bit and just popping the occasional shot, but Tactical Intervention taught me how to become a shotgun mouthwash.
It's a life choice. More so as choose life as opposed to not life. I don't want the not life. I want the life. And so I chose.
But trouble was never far around the corner. Indie games such as Double Action Boogaloo and Grand Theft Auto V attempted to capitalise on the fast-paced action of Tactical Intervention. While they could never hope to achieve the success of the original, they managed to whittle down Tactical Intervention's player base to numbers that became increasingly hard to sustain in the months that followed. Discontent became rife within the community as well, coming to a head in April 2017 over the controversy of whether civilian model number 13 was overweight or just big-boned. In addition, the lower-than-expected income from the newly added Jackal knife, as well as Gooseman's own crippling addiction to Findus crispy pancakes, put a devastating strain on the company's finances. Amid the growing concerns of a dwindling player base, outdated monetization model and the sodium content of the crispy pancakes, the future of Tactical Intervention was looking increasingly bleak. The game was updated in late May in an attempt to bring a fresh wave of players to Tactical Intervention, adding a video of dancing civilians to the main menu, as well as several improvements to the dog models. While it did indeed result in a small influx of both new and returning players, by then the writing was on the wall. Finally, on October 2nd, 2017, just 1 week shy of the game's 4-year anniversary, the servers for Tactical Intervention were shut down forever. The response was immediate. Steam forums lit up with threads mourning the loss of the game, longtime fans shared stories of their favourite matches, items and glitches, and candlelight vigils were held worldwide at what was being called one of the worst tragedies of the 21st century.
It was one of the worst tragedies of the 21st century.
Genuinely, I was just really disappointed. I was actually upset, because it is an incredibly fun game. I love that game. I didn't get tired of that game. There was just this kind of feel to it that I didn't regret playing it. I didn't get bored while I was playing it. Something about Tactical Intervention was just very inviting.
And I woke up fine, and then I turned on the computer, and then I was sad. I just felt like you lost an old friend, like they drifted apart.
I felt empty when I was told that the servers were being shut down. I don't have words for it. It's space that cannot be filled by any other game. It definitely left a void, yeah. Absolutely.
I was devastated. No two ways about it. It was certainly a blow to me, personally. It was a blow to fun. At the end of it all, something that made the world a little bit more fun had left us on that day. And it hurt. It still hurts.
I was really upset. Now we have to hunt for something new, and nothing will replace it. I've been downloading PS2 emulators and games. I mean, legally going outside and buying a PS2 and their games. I wouldn't. Just to like fill the hole of what I had. This shit happens and it's not good.
It wasn't exquisite, it wasn't perfect, it had so many flaws. But I think that's what made it what it was. It was just pissing in the wind. And it worked. It didn't get it all over its jeans. It was great.
Tragedy to the world? Absolutely. Tragedy to fun? Absolutely.
I stopped. I sat there, laying back and just staring up and thinking, why? Why us? Why it? It was hard to cope with. It still is. But you've got to learn to move on. I will never forget those memories. It was an incredible time, and I'll cherish it forever. I fucking love C4.
But despite the loss of Tactical Intervention, the memories in players' minds will last forever. A shining beacon in gaming mundanity, Tactical Intervention was, and still is, a video game that redefines the phrase avant-garde. To end on, do you have any moments or memories that you'd like to share?
I have countless moments of the game I'd love to share, but there will not be enough time in the day.
One of my favourite moments, I think, might have been the time Jamel, Quack, and myself were on a team with a puppy. We didn't know who he was. It wasn't important. And it was one of the times that we remembered to put friendly fire on. We were all crowded in a room, and the puppy placed C4 on a piece of wood and didn't move away quick enough, so I shot it twice. It detonated, absolutely obliterated him, and knocked Jamel on the ground. And Jamel said, "What happened?" in a way that I will never forget. I think I'd seen in one of my videos. If you can find the audio of Jamel saying, "What happened?" It's my favourite sound.
I really like the gang signs where I slash someone and then on the freeze frame it was just me with my lovely pay-to-win knife crossing my arms.
So we were chasing the car ahead of us, the German driving, and as we were giving chase, the car ascended directly upwards, up and above our car as we drove under and past it. And to me, that said, dream big, dream true, because your dreams can become a reality. A car can become a helicopter.
I've recently been rewatching videos of Tactical Intervention and forklift driving, putting C4 on a forklift. Like, what other game gives you that option? There is no other game. There are no drivable forklifts with C4 attachments in other entries to any series.
Another favourite thing of mine was on the office map. I fell through the skylight and as I was falling to my death, I held F, and I was up on the top floor again after hitting my feet off the bottom floor. It was fucking amazing. I fell through the glass pane, fell the whole way down screaming, and then suddenly my feet were to a wall with my gun pointing in someone's face. Because I am Jamel Rump, the web slinge.
Sorry, the web slinge?
Yeah, the web slinge, because it gets cut out. I thought when people seen the web slinge, I thought they were making fun of me, but it was just tactical intervention, not having enough space on the screen.
I think my first experience with Highway is something that I'm going to remember for a very long time. Like, that map is one for the history books. I remember in one of my first matches on Highway, there was one situation where there must have been 5 explosions in as many seconds, and I think it's safe to say that no one in the entire server knew what the fuck was going on.
I may have dropped a grenade, like...
It was just magical. Truly magical.
I remember discovering T-Quack using the AS-50 religiously for a long time. It was terrifying playing back then, because you'd spawn, you'd walk out, and you would be meat and a bloody mist.
Christ!
It was something spectacular.
We were all playing on TDM Construction Daytime. It was this crane we could climb up. Meryl was sitting on a scaffolding below it. I jumped off the crane, made the most high-pitched shrieking noise you could ever think of, landed, did not roll, just landed right in front of Meryl. Just walked away. It's better from her perspective, but just the fucking scream and the deadpan look I gave her before walking off the screen. The scream sounds in that game were
God damn it, Fives! I'm always wary of overhyping the game, particularly now that it's gone, but I think it's safe to say that Tactical Intervention was the single greatest piece of interactive media humanity has ever created.
I remember Tennis Taylor's glasses, and when Tactical Intervention went away, I remember